mom came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year. And they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets.
You said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's two of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to The Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. And now we're going to be talking about the Warriors. We already talked about Lauri Markkanen, and the details to that contract have come out. But there was more details were revealed. And the Warriors had a deal in place, but they didn't want to change or didn't want to trade the player that this man is about to say with the right pronunciation. Austin.
Yeah, so the Warriors could have had Lauri Markkanen, if they had matched the Jazz's request. The Warriors were like, we want to trade like multiple firsts and pick swaps and give you Moses Moody. And the Jazz were like, no, we don't want Moody. We're Brandin Podziemski. And with Pods, I don't think the Jazz are asking for too much. If they just want Pods and draft picks, and the Warriors are like, well, we'll give you Moody and draft picks, how is the difference between Lauri Markkanen, Pods versus Moody? Look, Pods is a good player. He made an all-rookie team. I do think he was a valuable asset. But the difference is Lauri Markkanen or Pods, even if the price is going to be steep, and you were willing to trade the picks. The picks weren't the argument. The picks were not the discussion. It was Moses Moody or Pods, and the Jazz said, we will not take Moses Moody. We need Pods for the trade to go through. And the Warriors said no. I don't know what your thoughts about it are, but I definitely think that this is a miss on the Warriors' part.
So I believe I have an answer for this question of what the Warriors are doing, and it's kind of explained because we've seen teams that are like, no, to me the Warriors value Pods immensely, and I do think he's a good player, but for the Warriors, I would trade now. And to me, that would be a player like Lauri Markkanen because of Steph Curry. But I would say the problem with the Warriors is I think they believe a little bit too much in themselves and the guys they've drafted. Because I view it as, hey, we drafted Pods. And to me, they view Pods as a guy that's going to replace Klay Thompson and become a central figure of the team. And we don't know if that's going to be true. And I would say, as of lately, the Warriors have struggled hitting on players, especially in the draft. I was very positive of James Wiseman, but that pick really hasn't worked out. And they believed a lot in James Wiseman till there was like, okay, we have to get rid of him. So to me, they are very confident in their ability in developing young players based off what they did with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. But I would say that is no longer the case now, and they're having a harsh reality of dealing with that, and they haven't faced that reality yet because they didn't want to get rid of Podziemski for a proven guy, Lauri Markkanen, who I would have liked to see what he did with the Warriors because he can play small. He's
played small forward a lot for the Jazz, including. That's why they played. A lot of their rosters at the end of games would be like Keontae George, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, and then Walker Kessler. They had a lot of those lineups where he is a small forward. He played small forward at the Cavs a lot. So I think that I was talking to a lot of other friends about this, especially a Warriors fan that you and I both know who he is. And I said that Lauri Markkanen could play a KD role. He's not Kevin Durant, but a 6'10", 6'11" small forward, there's not that many of those. And so he could have been a KD type player. He can get his own shot. He can shoot lights out from three, and he can be a sort of beacon outside of Curry. But without making the trade, I don't know where the Warriors sit this year.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to judge the Warriors because to me, they're betting a lot of young guys. I think another thing they believe a lot in is Jonathan Kuminga, who was a high draft pick. And it's a lot of unproven talent, which is something from my perspective for the Warriors, you want proven talent. Markkanen, I would have liked that role. He wouldn't have been like KD, but as you said, but he would have provided, I would say, a consistent offensive presence that they were missing last year. And given Clay struggled, so I would have liked that offensive force with Steph Curry. And it's hard to see what Pods. I don't think in the short term it would have hurt them much trading Podziemski for Markkanen, but to me they're just in a weird place of right now. They're trying to keep their future intact with these young players because they were willing to trade the picks. They just want to keep the young players and players they value highly, but they also want to compete now. And to me, those are two competing ideals.
Yeah, they're worried about whether they're going to be after Curry. That's really what they're thinking about right now is how are we going to look after Curry? That's why you would keep Pods. But you need him. Lauri's 27, Pods is 21, about to turn 22. I don't see why you wouldn't make the trade. I think it'd be very valuable for the Warriors, and obviously it's not going to happen now. It's just it's disappointing to me because it puts the Warriors in a very bad spot for this season. If they make no more moves, I would be utterly shocked if they were anything higher than a 7 seed at maximum a 7 seed. And that would only be because they were like an 8 seed winning their playing game. So they have problems. I do like Pods. Again, he's averaging about 6 rebounds per game at 6'5", a point guard / shooting guard. He can rebound. He can defend. He averaged 9 and 6 and like 4 assists. He's a good player, but they need a great one for them to be actual contenders this upcoming season. They still have Draymond, who I do think is a very good defender. Andrew Wiggins, if he could ever figure it out right now, at least the past couple of years, he really hasn't. That'd be beneficial, but I don't necessarily know where the Warriors go from here, especially because it seemed like that was the only guy really on the market that I knew of that had a good chance of getting traded or even a chance of getting traded.
Yes, and this could lead to the Warriors' downfall. The Pods they have a different view of Pods, and we've seen this before. To me, there were talks about Tyler Hero with the Heat. They didn't want to trade him. I'm trying to think. There was another trade where guys were like, we're not going to include this guy at all. Such as maybe it was Terrence Mann with the Clippers. So to me, that's what the Warriors are, I think, have a misguided view of themselves and the talent that they have and how it will affect them this year.
Yeah, I still remember that they didn't get Paul George, and Paul George is apparently in talks for a trade there. Something, it doesn't seem like anything's going right now. The only guy I could see maybe having a slight chance is like a guy like Kawhi. If Kawhi asks out, if the Clippers go bad and he asks out, because I don't think the Warriors would be bad. Like I struggle seeing them being a bottom 4 team in the conference where they're finishing 12, 13, 14, 15. But I can see them struggling to make or being on the edge of making a play-in spot. It's going to be really close. And for them to figure it out, they're going to need other guys on this roster, in my opinion. So, again, losing out like a guy like this is definitely detrimental. And I don't know what Curry's thinking about it. Obviously, he's probably not thinking about it at all right now because he's playing in the Olympics. But whenever he gets back to the States, it'll be interesting to see how he takes it.
Yeah, I'm interested to what the Warriors are doing because I don't think they're going to be a terrible team. They're just going to be a team where they need to be better, but it looks like they don't want to give up stuff to get something. That's the harsh view. You're going to have to give up good players if you want to get a player, and sometimes you're going to miss out on that. There have been bad trades. You can look at the Clippers and the Thunder and all that, but to me, the Warriors are in a weird spot, and I don't really trust their front office to navigate it correctly.
I don't disagree. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out.
Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts. We appreciate you listening. And do you think Pods will be that guy? Do you think he should be basically not on trade talk? Should the Warriors should keep him no matter what, or do you disagree with it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.